What is the discriminant? The discriminant actually has to go with the quadratic formula, and this is to determine how many solutions you're going to get from the quadratic formula. Most of the time you get two real solutions, but there's some cases where you could get one real solution or no real solutions. Now, dealing with the discriminant, if you recall the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The discriminant of the quadratic equation is b squared minus 4ac. So this is all that we're looking at right now. So it's basically the part underneath a radical sign. You can determine the number of solutions by evaluating the discriminant. So you could do the discriminant first to see if you have to actually solve, because if it's no solution, you don't have to actually solve, but I'll show you that. So if I have example 1, I have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. My discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. I'm going to put in my b, so I have my a, b, and c. From here, if I put in my a, I have negative 4 squared minus, if I put in my b, negative 4 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times 3. Negative 4 squared gives me 16. Negative 4 times 1 times 3 gives me a negative 12. So my discriminant is equal to 4. If you think about it, the discriminant is located underneath the square root. So if I have a square root of 4, it's positive, therefore it's going to give me 2 solutions. So if I were to actually graph this, you can see that it's going to cross the x-axis twice. So this is how I would determine that I would have 2 solutions. Now, for something to have one solution, I would do the same thing. Here's my A, here's my B, and here's my C, and it's set equal to 0. I take my discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So my b is 2, so 2 squared gives me 4, minus 4 times 1, which is negative 4, times 1, which would be a negative 4. So 4 minus 4 gives me 0. Now, if you think about it, if 0 is underneath this radical, I really only can get one answer, because any number added to 0 is that number. Any number subtracted by 0 is that number. So there only could be one solution. So if the discriminant is 0, there's only one solution. So if I were to graph this, my graph would only be on one point on the x-axis. Now, this last example shows no solution. And if this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C, I take my B value and I'm going to put it in, so it's negative 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times my A value, which is 1, so negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then negative 4 times 2 gives me 8. So 4 minus 8 would give me a negative 4. Now, if this negative 4 was underneath this radical, we know that a negative number underneath a radical means that there's no real solution. So it's actually not a real number. So with that would mean that the discriminant is negative. There are no solutions. So if you looked at the graph, the reason why there's no solution is because it does not intersect the x-axis. So this is just kind of a way to determine how many solutions there are, but it's not a way to solve. You still have to solve to find out what those solutions are. But from here, it just kind of helps you to determine if you were actually correct. Did I solve enough to get how many solutions that I actually need?